Hi, teachers. Today, we are going to go over the project based learning sheet for the chapter Neha's Alarm Clock from grade 4. First, let's go over the learning concepts, outcomes, and objectives that will be covered in this sheet. In this sheet, we are going to look at the concept prepositions. We will achieve the outcomes, infers meanings of unfamiliar words by reading them in context, uses meaningful grammatically correct sentences to describe and narrate incidents and to frame questions, reads text with comprehension, locates details and sequences of events. And the learning objectives describe a picture using prepositions, frame sentences while playing a game, and use prepositions in a story. Let's look at the leading question for this project based learning sheet. Let's prompt learners to think. Have you lost something in your home and couldn't find it? Did you then find that thing right where you left it? To help them process this question, you can prompt them with questions like, what did you lose? Was it a pencil? Was it a book? Or was it a ball? Where did you find it? And how did you feel when it was lost? Sad? Anxious? Nervous? And once you found it, where do you think you found it? Did you find it under the bed or over the fridge? By prompting them with these questions, you will help learners think of prepositions naturally. Now, let's look at some of the activities in this sheet. Activity 1. Help me find. This activity has the instructor Kitty. Kitty says Kitty is lost in the jungle and needs the learner's help to find his friends. Here, we have a picture and we need to locate some of the objects given in this particular list in this picture. The steps or instructions to find these objects are given in the learning sheet below the activity or the image. We need to look at the image carefully and find the objects. We need to look at the list of few prepositions among, above, under, in, on, against, over, next to, near, inside, between, below, and beside. We need to use them to describe where each of these objects are found by answering the questions. The questions are given below the list. The questions are given below the list and the instructions. Prompt learners to use the right prepositions in order to describe where they found each of these objects. Activity 2. Where are you? This is a fun game that learners can play using the sheet and the methodology given in this activity. Let's head over to this activity and see how it's done. Here we have a short board game that is picturized in this particular way. You start and you go over all the different types of prepositions picturized in each of these boxes. For example, the dog is under the box, the cat is over the house, and so on. For this activity, we will need one or two pairs of dice. We will also need a pawn or a particular object to help learners move across the board. You can either cut out the sheet or either replicate it by chalk on the ground. Using the pawn, the learners will start at the beginning of the board. Once the dice is rolled, depending on the number of the dice, the pawn will be moved. For example, if the pawn has moved 4 places, The child has to come up with the word using the preposition that is given in the box. For example, here, the preposition given is beside. The child can think and come up with a sentence like, my friend sat beside me. Now, if the child moves upon to one of the googly boxes, for example, the box that says move back 6 spaces, help the child move the pawn back to 6 places and use the preposition accordingly. Activity 3. What am I looking at? Here, we need to help learners draw their classroom or what they see in their classroom. Once they do that, Once they do this, we will ask learners to write down where the different objects in the classroom are using the prepositions given in the box below. For example, above, among, under, in, on, against, and so on. An example is given below. A child can write, the book is on the table, and so on. Activity 4. Preposition cards. Here, we have a wide variety of prepositions that are given in boxes. Each of these boxes can be cut into cards and used as individual cards, such as this. We also have story strips. Each of the strips can be cut individually and be used just like this. Now, here are the instructions. Have learners form groups of 3 to 4. Distribute one full set of preposition cards per team and also select one story scene or a story strip from the table below. Each group must use the preposition cards to continue and complete the story. Try to experiment with different prepositions to create different meanings. Have the learners share their stories with their friends in the class and appreciate other groups as they share their stories. Activity 5. Let's read a story. Here, there is a small excerpt of a story given. Have the learners read the story and then answer the questions based on the story they have read. For example, question number 1. In the story, where did the ladybug land? Learners can refer to the story and select the answer on the boy's shoe. Finally, let's come to our creative space activity, game with prepositions. Here, learners are going to be creating a game of their own based on prepositions. Remind them of the different games they have played just now and the games that they know already and ask them to take inspiration from this and create their own version of the game. Finally, let's come to the self-assessment questions for this. Here, you can gauge if the learners have understood prepositions using this PBL by helping them answer the self-assessment questions. For example, in question number 1, which word is a preposition? Here, if the learner has selected the word under instead of jump, quickly and happy, you can take it as they have understood under as a preposition or that they can identify preposition from a group of words. Finally, we have an OMR sheet, which is a practice sheet to help learners mark the right answers for upcoming exams or competitive exams.